Seth?
So last time we got together, we were talking about partnering up some craft Texas beef from RC Ranch, some craft Texas wine from Wedding Oak Winery, and you were telling me about some of the unique properties of Wagyu beef, like it has a low melting point for its fats, it's got a ton of marbling, and you were also saying there's some really cool cuts of beef that are maybe unexplored. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, you bet. You know, the whole world knows about ribeye strips and fillets, right? And even things like skirts for fajitas have become popular in years to come. But there's a whole world of beef out there that people hardly ever know about. And for example, our family, some of our favorites are part of the sirloin. Things like bavette, tri-tip, and culotte. People have never heard of those, but they're amazing. Even things out of the chuck that are super, super flavorful, that may be a little tougher than a tenderloin, but they just have that really rich, robust chuck flavor, sometimes get passed over. And so today, we're grilling a few steaks, and we're grilling a Denver steak, which is out of the chuck, sometimes also called a zebuton, a chuck eye steak, which is just a small version of the ribeye, where the rib primal meets the chuck primal, and then a sirloin, a baseball sirloin. So I'll flip these real quick. So we just encourage everyone to not just buy the ribeye strips and fillets, although those are the kings and they're great cuts, but just try some other things you may normally not try, or something you haven't tried before. There's a whole world of beef out there, kind of for every occasion, every price point, and we just want some folks to venture out and try some stuff they normally don't.
So you're telling me about all these cuts, and you're right. I mean, like several of those cuts I'd never heard of before. Sure. But like, maybe what are some of the advantages of using Wagyu beef as opposed to regular beef when you're exploring like some of these unknown cuts?
Sure, great question, and it boils back down to marbling and tenderness and the richness of the Wagyu fat. Some of the cuts we're talking about today, like for example the Denver steak, aren't talked about a lot with commodity beef that's of a lower grade, because it doesn't have the marbling and the tenderness that the Wagyu does. And even sirloin a lot of times is thought of as a lesser steak, but a Wagyu baseball sirloin is about as good as it gets. And so again, we just encourage everyone to venture out and try new things. Call us, reach out to Chef Rick or myself. On our website you can find our email addresses, and we're happy to answer questions. And we just want to help educate people about the whole beef experience.
One of the things I thought was really interesting is you were telling me, most folks gravitate towards the tenderloin because obviously super tender and juice. It's got a really premium cut of meat. But you were telling me that the sirloin almost has more flavor than several of those other really popular cuts.
No doubt. There's a couple of things. For example, my wife likes tenderloin because the tenderness is important to her. I personally don't feel like the tenderloin has near the flavor that, say, a bavette, which is my favorite, does. But the bavette's going to be a little tougher. I don't mind chewing a little bit and getting that really, really rich, bottom sirloin flavor. So again, it's really something for everyone, similar to wine. And we just hope that everyone will try something new or reach out to us and let us kind of coach them down a path that's right for them. But there's a great beef cut for everyone. What makes wine and beef such great companions?
Well, I mean, I think like we talked about before, obviously there's like an attention to detail and a commitment to excellence that you have to make, when you start at the agricultural level. But I think makes wine so unique when it comes to pairing with foods, beef in particular, is it's got some flavor components that really match beef very, very well. So for example, you've got the natural acidity that's in wine. Whether it's a red wine or a white wine, grapes have quite a bit of acid in them, and that acidity can help cut through the richness that you find, especially in a great cut of Wagyu beef like this. It helps really cut through that richness to like every bite. It's almost like a refresher. And then in red wine, unlike white wine, so you have a lot of tannin. So tannin, it comes from the seeds and the skins of grapes, and it dries your mouth out. And oftentimes, people don't know that a wine has a lot of tannin, but the wine feels really big and powerful. And it's often because it has a lot of tannins in your red wine. And what's nice about that tannic sensation is, again, you've got a lot of richness from that cut of beef that's coating your mouth, and then that tannin kind of acts like a complement to it, and again, kind of renews your palate after every bite. So, I mean, it's like, man, I really like that first bite of Wagyu beef I had. What better way to refresh the palate, taste it all over again? good glass of Texas wine.
I'm in. Sounds great to me.
Yeah, let's go see what's for dinner.
All right.
Hey Chef Rick, what's for dinner?
Tonight we're just having steak. And we're thinking outside of the box a little bit and doing some cuts that a lot of people aren't familiar with, but they're missing out on some really great stuff. So we have some flank left over from our appetizer that we had. It's great. You don't have to get fancy with it. Like I said, it makes great tacos, straight meat and potatoes. Nice, thin, quick cook, economical, crowd pleasing. In the middle we have our baseball sirloin, top sirloin. Rather than having those gigantic 2-pound sirloins you see in the stores, we go ahead and break it down for you and make it almost look exactly like a fillet. So it's nice, it's 8 ounces, it's compact, it's nice and thick, so you get a good cook on it. And just an all-around great cut. For sirloin lovers, that's the top-notch steak that you can have. And then this is one that nobody really sees much in the grocery stores, but we keep them in stock all the time. Comes out of the chuck primal, where all the great flavor comes, where your chuck roll, your ribeye ends, all that brisket, all that good stuff from the front. It's really hard to get out of the muscle, but we do. This one on the grill and the sous vide, reverse seared. This steak changes steak for most people who eat it. You got to try it.
Awesome. Well, so for our wines, what we got tonight for the white is our 2016 Terre Blanc. So it was grown in the Texas Hill Country, and we made it and we bottle aged it. So now it's for 3.5 years now. And so what that leads to, it's a Rhone white blend. It's got a lot of richness and character. It's developed over that time, and that richness will really complement the richness of these cuts of beef. And it's got great acidity as well, so it can really cut through some of that fat. So it's a great wine to pair with steak if you're a white wine lover. If you're a red wine lover, we got our 2018 Tempranillo. And Tempranillo has kind of become one of the flagship grapes here in Texas. It's grown really widely across the state and traditionally grown in Spain. But it's fared really, really well here in Texas. And it has enough tannin, like we were talking about, and enough acidity to stand up to the robustness of these intense cuts of beef. Because there's so much flavor in every one of these cuts. You need that body, to hold on to these, hold up with this beef. Yeah, let's try some. What we got? The sirloin. Oh man.
So once again, for a great Texas wine and Texas Wagyu beef pairing, check us out online. And for the Wedding Oak Wine Club members, RC Ranch is offering a 10% discount code. Come check us out. Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.